On 90 Day Fiancé, Shekinah Garner and Sarper Guven's relationship did not end happily ever after. Shekinah and Sarper first appeared together in Season 5 of The Other Way, when the single mother from Los Angeles moved to Turkey to live with Sarper. Despite Sarper's advanced age of 45, Shekinah became his first lover after meeting him on a dating service. Sarper had previously been married, but until he met Shekinah, he had never taken a woman seriously. She assisted Sarper in erasing his bad boy background in the interim. Shekinah and Sarper couldn't agree on whether to have children or for him to keep the trophies that reminded him of the more than 2,000 women he had slept with before her. Sarper only married Shekinah because his K-1 visa was about to expire and he wanted to be with her, even though he wasn't very interested in getting married. In the end, Sarper and Shekinah tied the knot in a bedside 90-day fiancé wedding. Their wedding, which was commemorated as the 90th wedding in the 90 Day Fiancé series, ended abruptly. Shekinah and Sarper traveled alone to New York for the reunion. Sarper said that he was sorry to wed Shekinah. He claimed that if they hadn't gotten married, they would have been happier. Sarper described their marital existence as a roller coaster with its ups and downs to host Sean Robinson. Shekinah asserted that they didn't really have a honeymoon and that their honeymoon period ended quickly. It seems that Sarper never purchased a wedding ring for Shekinah either. After Sarper arrived in America, Shekinah claimed that their relationship shifted and that he found it difficult to blend in and live in her space via extrav. Shekinah claims that Sarper's really bad depression caused him and her to get quite angry. Being out of control in his new life devastated Sarper, who had always been a control freak. He claimed that because of the numerous new obligations and duties the marriage brought into his life, he didn't like the marriage. Being reliant on Shekinah was the worst nightmare he had ever experienced. An avalanche of problems resulted from their clashing large egos. Shekinah and Sarper had been sleeping in different rooms. Shekinah and Sarper were among the new couples that 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way viewers were first exposed to in October 2023 during Season 5. Following their debut, both responded to fan inquiries regarding possible wedding plans during Q&A sessions on their personal Instagram stories. Each of them disclosed that they had no plans to get married anytime soon. One fan wrote, "Can't wait to see you both as husband and wife," which prompted Shekinah to clarify that marriage wasn't currently in their plans, making her the first person to be asked when a wedding would take place. Shekinah shared a mirror selfie of herself and Sarper in an elevator in response to a fan's query. She said, "Thank you, but we don't really feel like we need to be married in order to be happy together forever," in addition to the picture expressing her thoughts on marriage. She went on to describe marriage as a dying institution and cultural conditioning. Shekinah indicated that she was still open to the idea, however, by adding that she would accept Sarper's proposal if he did. "Will we be seeing a wedding and children in the future?" an admirer wondered on Instagram. In response, Sarper posted a picture of himself kissing Shekinah. "Wedding is just a signature on paper," he wrote in response, downplaying the significance of a formal ceremony. Putting that signature to heart is crucial. His remark, which reflected the couple's unusual attitude to their relationship, implied that he valued emotional commitment over a formal marriage. After moving from Turkey to Los Angeles to be with Shekinah, Sarper acknowledged that he was depressed. His mental condition alternated between feeling like a 10 or a 1, but he was mostly a 1, suggesting persistently bad moods. He disclosed in a vulnerable moment. He talked about how his new surroundings and way of life made him feel useless and overwhelmed. Sarper even acknowledged at one point that he thought about purchasing a one-way ticket back to Turkey in order to get away from the emotional strain. His difficulties demonstrated the significant psychological toll that the change and cultural shift had on him. The abrupt loss of freedom was one of the main causes of Sarper's sadness. He felt both financially and personally constrained because he couldn't work in the United States until after getting married. He freely expressed his frustration at the lack of freedom in his daily life, saying he felt like an inmate. Sarper, who was used to being active and independent in Turkey, found the change to be emotionally taxing and challenging. His relationship with Shekinah was strained, his depression worsened, and he felt trapped by the contrast between his previous life and the constraints he now faced in Los Angeles. With more than 20 years of expertise as a professional esthetician, Shekinah made major sacrifices in her job to sustain her relationship with Sarper. Her frequent excursions to Turkey made it difficult for her to keep a consistent clientele, which put a burden on her finances. She lived in a small, expensive apartment that served as her workstation after moving to Los Angeles, which hindered the expansion of her firm. Sarper was also unable to work due to visa constraints, which put more strain on Shekinah's finances. She maintained her commitment to their partnership in spite of these difficulties by striking a balance between her personal aspirations and her professional sacrifices. In the past, Sarper was well known in Turkey for leading a wild, bad boy lifestyle and freely confessing to have slept with more than 2,500 women. He adopted a freewheeling, party-loving lifestyle and established himself as a charming playboy who delighted in having several uncommitted relationships. But Sarper consciously chose to abandon that way of life after meeting Shekinah. He demonstrated a more mature and devoted side by putting an end to his partying and casual relationships in order to concentrate on establishing a solid, committed connection with her. Sarper has said that he occasionally misses his former life despite his dedication to Shekinah. It's hard to forget the thrill, independence, and social relationships he formerly experienced. It hasn't been easy to transition to a more subdued, responsible lifestyle, and he has thought back on the exciting and adventurous times he left behind. These emotions underline the conflict between Sarper's need for stability and the allure of his former bad boy character, exposing the human costs he paid for love. Being a fiercely independent individual, Sarper had a playboy lifestyle that allowed him to meet and date a large number of women without committing. He relished the sense of control and thrill that this life offered. But his world transformed when he met Shekinah. She frequently followed him around, which made him tense and restricted his freedom. Sarper has apologized and said he wishes he had never met her since the relationship made him give up his easygoing way of life. He felt confined and torn about his new existence as a result of this lack of autonomy and ongoing supervision. Shekinah struggled to trust Sarper due to his past and ongoing behavior. Sarper admitted to being intimate with nearly 3,000 women, which deeply unsettled her. Despite his claims of faithfulness, Shekinah remains skeptical, questioning whether he can truly change. She has said, "If he can't own up to his mistakes, he does not have the type of character I need in a man, and I can't be with him." Past relationships and accusations of dishonesty have intensified her doubts, leaving their future uncertain and their bond strained even after 90 Day Fiance Season 11 ended.